how do you see Real Madrid being able to adjust for this big final against Barcelona?
Yeah, well, Camavinga out for the year, right? Big adjustments for Real Madrid. It's going to have to come down to by committee for this Real Madrid side. Can they get things done as a group and as a unit, which at times they've struggled with. Like, they've relied a lot on their superstars to cross the finish line, to finish out games, to get those goals in moments when maybe the 90-minute performance hasn't been as cohesive as it needs to be. They need a 90-minute performance. Every single game matters right now for Real Madrid, and this 1-0 scoreline, I mean, they don't have any wiggle room. They didn't have a chance, and they still don't moving forward. This helps them, steps in the right direction, but it has to be a complete 90-minute performance from every single person.
Yeah, and you got to defend well, right? It's going to be a massive game for Fran Garcia. So you've got no Alaba, you've got no Camavinga. You're literally the only left back that you have with Mendy still out is Fran Garcia, who, frankly, maybe would have been a better choice than David Alaba, who every time he steps onto the pitch for Real Madrid in this later portion of the season after his long-term injury hasn't looked great. Wasn't, like, not even close to the David Alaba from Bayern Munich. So Camavinga, who's multifunctional, better in the midfield, but has deputized as left back, also out. It's dire circumstances for Real Madrid, and every time I watch them, it just feels like the Grim Reapers lurking in the background, just waiting for that moment to strike them down. Yesterday, they survived. They were one Thibaut Courtois save away from La Liga title race being over, and Saturday, the Copa del Rey being the only thing that they have left for. So it's this constant, there's like this eeriness about Real Madrid because the narrative is so in favor of Barcelona at the moment, and Real Madrid is constantly trying to play catch-up and keep pace with Barcelona.
Plus, Carlo Ancelotti, let's face it, it's like dead man walking right now. We all know he's going to be gone at the end of the year, right? I mean, so you got an iconic manager that's leaving the club, likely, but I think it's like a really bad secret right now that he's not going to be there. So that kind of, you think about where they're at. And then I was just looking through the roster with all their injuries. I mean, he has managed so many injuries throughout the season. So yeah, Copa del Rey and a chance at La Liga, hoping that Barcelona slips up, which they almost had to slip up in their last game, right? 4-3, Rafinha with the late penalty kick. So it is dire moments, but you don't expect anything to change at Real Madrid right now, right? It's about stars making plays. We're not going to turn on Copa del Rey and see like free-flowing football from Real Madrid because they're in this mode now.
Maybe. I don't know. I think Ancelotti yesterday showed that he wants to control the things he can control. He rotated in La Liga. It did pay off, but he's got to wait on another party to do business for them, right? Because he can win out, but Barcelona can win out and it's over, right? So he put Arda Güler in a 8 position almost yesterday. It looked good. It just, something different from him instead of being out wide on the wings. I mean, Rodrigo didn't get a run in. He came in later, but he hasn't been scoring. And Vini started, but the other guys up top, Mbappé injured, so he played with the lineup a little bit. I wonder what he's going to go out with. Is it going to be Bellingham, Rodrigo, Vinicius, Mbappé at the weekend? I'm not sure because it's one game, and in the most critical game of the season, it didn't work. Why not throw in a Brahim into the mix, who makes the most of his situations, is a dynamic player. It gives you another hue. It's not the same Rodrigo that hasn't ultimately, I think, in the grand scheme of things, been great. So I still think there's a lot of questions, and maybe shake things up on Saturday.
It's tough to shake things up in a final, right? That's always the question mark, because you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, right? If you play the guys who have gotten you there.
He's damned,
I mean,
right?
he knows.
He's gone, right?
Yeah, whatever it is, right? He's out of here. And they'll do it hopefully in a respectful way because he deserves it. But of course, May 11th is massive for them because it's the chance to catch up 3 points against Barcelona. And as you mentioned, Nico, if Barcelona wins out anyway after that, they don't have a chance. So this is the one opportunity he can control to win a trophy right now. And I got to imagine, me personally, knowing Carlo Ancelotti over the years, Lisa, he's going to go with the guys that are
what he knows.
That he knows, right?
Yeah,
that have been he's trusted.
Exactly, what he knows, Old Faithful. I agree, it's a final because, Nico, if they fall in this final at the weekend, then what is the conversation we're having on Monday?
It's the same conversation we're having now.
But
they've already, we have seen the Real Madrid tombstone. In my opinion, right? Who's talking, like, even if they win, Ancelotti's gone. You know? Like,
yeah, but for the
reportedly-
players, they salvage a little bit of some of this season that hasn't been what they've wanted it to be.
What do it's more about what Florentino cares and what El Madridismo cares about. Salvage, you got embarrassed in the Champions League, salvage it with the Copa del Rey? That's laughable to Madridismo.
So would you rather they just change up everything?
No, I never said change up anything. I said shake it up. Put in Brahim Diaz for Rodrigo. I'm sorry, Brahim Diaz has been Old Faithful too.
But as a substitute, I don't see him as a starter 90 minutes all the time at this level. But, I mean, yeah, you're right. If he wants to shake it up and give a different look, I think Barcelona...
Rodrigo hasn't produced. He's got that one goal against Atletico Madrid.
But remember, we were talking about Rodrigo at Christmas period as the most valuable player in this group, right? So I'm just thinking, if you're Carlo Ancelotti, you're like, I got to go with my guys one more time. I got to give him, excuse me, one more chance to win me something. I don't know. He might go with this lineup. Maybe he's trying yesterday the lineup that he's going to play. We don't know. But he certainly has some injuries to deal with. And he's got to shake things up that way.
One of them being Kylian Mbappé, who he's gotten some boos at the Bernabéu. I mean, what do you make of that, Nico? They put him on the big screen and boo.
Yeah, the whole, I mean, I don't know the whole stadium, but a audible
enough for it to be super
of,
audible, and you know that he heard it.
Yeah, an audible portion of the fans booed Kylian Mbappé in that game against Athletic, which they ended up winning, by the way, without him. But he's been injured, obviously, and he had to witness that. It's almost a little bit undeserved, but put the stats to one side. Madridismo doesn't care for stats. Screw stats. Give me trophies. Give me a Champions League. Give me a Liga. Give me a Copa del Rey, all together in one. It's the greatest club in European football history, period. So he's kind of like scapegoated because of this whole like tug of war between Florentino and Mbappe. Is he coming? Is he going? Is he coming? Is he going? Is he staying at PSG? No, we finally got him. And then you fall agonizingly short in your one tournament that you have to win. He's kind of the poster boy of this failure of this season, sadly. But he's been extraordinary. It feels a little bit harsh, in my opinion.
Why do you think Cristiano Ronaldo and Marcelo and that whole group of players, they're revered? Sergio Ramos, because they won Champions League, right? The La Liga titles, it's almost expected at Real Madrid. There's going to be the odd year, and this year might be one of them. They don't compete at the top of the table, and they lose out to their rivals, Barcelona. But those guys are all judged by Champions Leagues. It's the one club in the world that judges you by it's unfair to the players, but that's where Real Madrid is. As Nico said, greatest team in European football history. I don't think it's fair for players. When Kylian Mbappé finally wins a Champions League, because eventually he's going to win one at Real Madrid, then they'll cheer him when they put him on the screen. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, you know that going into it, right? Mbappe knows that when he signs with this club. He knows what the expectation is. He knows what his expectation is. Yes, it's to score goals and it's to produce, but it is to win Champions League. I think it's unfair that you boo him. He was with his mom.
You know who went...
It sucks.
You know who went trophyless in his first season at Real Madrid? Cristiano Ronaldo. You know how he followed it up?
3.
He arguably became the greatest player of all time. I'm not saying Kylian Mbappé is at the Cristiano and Messi level, but there's been this energy and this aura built around Mbappé at such a young age, scoring in World Cup finals, winning World Cup finals, that we're yet to see him deliver at that superlative stage of the club level. And Madridismo holds the highest of standards. So you can go one season trophyless, but you have to follow it up with greatness at Real Madrid.
How do you see him bouncing back next season then? How do you see him looking at this season and moving forward from it?
With a lot of goals. I expect similar numbers from Kylian Mbappé. I mean, look at those numbers. That's extraordinary.
Yeah,
That's the numbers, and that's only in La Liga. The numbers in all competitions are better than any season Vinicius has ever put together at Real Madrid, numbers-wise. The goal contributions. That I don't know if I expected that out of the gates when there was this whole debate of whose team is this, Vinicius, Mbappé. This is, I mean, Mbappé is a talisman here.